This is a brief demo on using the logging framework and some of the tools that come with it. I have a sample solution set up here, and I'm going to build a small Windows application to show you how easy it is to use the framework. Notice that down here I have a tab, the Object Guys Log Viewer. That's a tool that's included with the framework. And I'll take a look here in the options, tools, options, and down here in logging you'll see simple options here. It's enabled, and you specify what port it should be listening on. This is the app config, and this would be the same for a web config file. In this case it's a Windows app, so I'm using app config. And I have a config sections section here with Bitfactory logging specified. And now I'll add my custom logging configuration in here, and this is how I do that. Now this is the Bitfactory logging section, and now I can put in whatever type of loggers I want to specify in here, and the IntelliSense pops up. And just for demo purposes, I'm going to show you the rolling size file logger, for example. So this will create a section of rolling size file loggers, and in here I can put in an individual rolling size file logger, or multiple ones if I want. I have to give the logger itself a name. I'm just going to call it file. I have to give it a file name as well, and in this case I'm going to notice there's some IntelliSense here, some help on what to put in, but I'm going to put file name equals, I'm going to just go into my projects folder, and in a special folder under logs, and I'm going to call this my log, and I'm going to put a parameter here, which a rolling size file logger will automatically roll over the log if it gets too big. And there's also a rolling date file logger. For every date it will create a new log file for you automatically. And there are other options, as you can see, and for now I will just put in the max size, and just for demo purposes I'll use the number 200 bytes, even though that's not what you'd normally use. It'd probably be a lot bigger. I'm also going to put in another section here, socket loggers, just so that I can demonstrate the log viewer that's in the IDE. So I'm going to put a socket logger in here, give it a name, socket. The host is localhost, because it's the machine I'm working on. Port, I'm going to pick the port that I had in the options earlier. And again, there are various options in here. I'll leave them alone for now. So we have our config file set up, very simple. I'm going to save that. I'm going to jump over to my form, and I'm just going to throw a button on here and click event. Well, first of all, we're going to have to add a using statement using Bitfactory logging. Okay, now in the click event, just to demo this thing, it's this easy to use. Config logger dot instance. Now here are various options. I'm just going to do log info and say hello, and that's what I'm going to do when I click that button. So I'm going to run the application. My form pops up. I'm going to click this button. Now notice in this tool window here, a message popped up. That's my hello. If I click this a couple more times, shows up. So we can see logs immediately as they're happening. Also, since we created a file log, it's created a log file right here, and we can look at it, and there are the logs right there. And our application is running. We can delete this if we want. The app is still running, and we could write additional, click the button, and it will create the log file again for us. It doesn't lock it or anything. And as we click the button, if we go over the size limit for that file, it will automatically create other log files. Notice it's created a bunch because we have a very small limit here. It's only putting in 3 log entries for each one. So it automatically created all those for us. And in the tool window, we've got a whole list of log entries here. And if we start up another application, so if I kill this guy again, it will, in the tool window, a new tab gets created. We'll continue logging items here, and we can close this one if we want, or close them all and clear them out. If we close them, that's fine. We can go back to the app. It just opens up another tab, and it also continues to write to the files here. So it's that easy.